Coming up on ATV News.
Last week was the grand opening of Huntsman Hall, but why is it still closed?
What you might be doing to hurt your water and your community.
It poses one of the biggest risks to students. See what USU is doing to combat it.
Gymnastics does something it hasn't done in 14 years, and softball in 20 years. I'll let you know what that is coming up in sports.
Between sunny days and snowstorms, the weather's been as rowdy as a puppy. We'll let you know if puppy weather is your new normal.
All that and more, this is ATV News. Welcome to ATV News. I'm Taylor Murray.
And I'm Amy Reed. People are calling yesterday's caucus turnout unprecedented, a record, massive. Over 75,000 Democrats attended their caucuses across the state. This set a new record for the party. Voters stood in line for hours, and some sites ran out of ballots. Utah is known as a Republican state, so some say for the first time, their vote matters.
Utah has a voice for the first time in a long time, and so whether you're a Republican, whether you're a Democrat, it's important to vote because you want your candidate to have the best showing.
Logan Republicans filled the halls of Mount Logan Middle School to cast their vote and meet in their precincts. They discussed issues affecting the country and also voted on local officials to represent their wants and beliefs in their districts.
In order to help make those issues known and that you care about them, you need to vote.
Bernie Sanders and Ted Cruz won their party delegates in Utah.
Police responded to a call that appeared to be a hazmat suicide on Tuesday, but when they arrived, they found something different. Between 7 and 800 North on 100 West, a 24-year-old called 911 and said he was going to commit suicide. Officials responded, confirmed the call inside, and broke in. They were immediately hit by a chemical smell and went out to call hazmat. They secured the area and blocked the street and determined the chemical smell was from a single gunshot. Police say that the 24-year-old was pronounced dead at the scene. Sadly, yesterday's incident isn't that unusual here. According to Utah Department of Health, there's one suicide in Utah every 16 hours. Because of this statistic, USUSA is sponsoring a Mental Health Awareness Week.
More than 1 out of 4 higher education students in Utah have considered suicide.
This is a video of colleges and universities around Utah that have joined in the campaign for mental health awareness here at USU. The campaign includes a hope wall where people can take a picture, staple it to the wall, and include the name of someone who has helped them get through a hard time. Other events of the week include an Out of the Darkness walk and guest speakers who aim to help students stand up to the stigma of mental health issues.
Personally, I've dealt with depression in my life. And it's not an easy thing. You often feel alone and you feel like nobody cares. And I just want to make sure that I give everybody the resources they need to know that their life matters, that their life is worth living.
The Mental Health Awareness Week will continue through Saturday. For more information on the events, visit the USUSA Facebook page.
You could be drinking your neighbor's medicine. That is, if they aren't throwing it away properly. We spoke to water quality experts and local police to show you the dangers of dumping drugs down the drain.
Clear, fresh, clean. At least, that's what you hope. But if your drugs are going down here, they could end up here.
An awful lot of these drugs are not effectively treated by the processes that we use in most of our wastewater treatment plants.
As part of her work in water quality extension, Messner and her team discovered that 80 to 90% of humans in the U.S. have residue of a pesticide or pharmaceutical in their body.
It was a whole lot of things that we started realizing. All of a sudden it's like, whoa, we need to pay attention to this.
So Messner teamed up with local police, who have a different reason for getting involved.
We are getting the drugs out of people's houses, so therefore we're reducing the risk of burglaries and theft and people abusing the drugs.
And together, they created these prescription drug drop-offs, which keeps the drugs out of reach and out of your water. But you don't have to go here to dispose of your prescriptions correctly.
To get rid of drugs at home, you should take your information off the bottle. Then dump the extra pills in something gross, like a diaper. That way, when you throw it out, even if someone goes through the trash, they'll be turned off of what the drugs are mixed with.
The important part for Messner and Dunn is to get them out and keep them out of your home and the environment.
So we're balancing public safety from the drugs themselves with public safety from the effect of these on both humans and on the natural aquatic world.
You can find a full list of prescription drop-off sites in Cache Valley on the Health Department's website at brhd.org.
The grand opening for Huntsman Hall was last week, but the doors still remain closed to students.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
This was the big grand opening last week, but it was more grand than opening. Today it looks like this. The signs posted on the front doors of the new addition say that Huntsman Hall is not open because the building hasn't yet been turned over to the university. This is because the building isn't actually done being built. Some finishing touches are still needed before Huntsman Hall will open its doors. But in the meantime, the signs will be up to keep students out.
Most of them just because we didn't get the material in time and back ordered and change orders and just a lot of different reasons.
The Huntsman Hall is expected to open in about a week.
Domestic violence is the leading crime in Utah. One organization is finding a way to reach out to those who are victims of it. Our Tori Green is with us to show you who. Tori?
Doors are opening to new lives while locking out the old here at CAPSA.
We are a service center designed to provide both the resources and tools.
Resources that allow people to have a home and find comfort.
I oversee the transitional housing program, and I am proud to help those victims find a safe and affordable housing in the community.
Because of the support of individual donors and local businesses, CAPSA is able to provide a place for hope, help, and healing.
It's a beautiful neighborhood where families can come and they can start building their lives again.
Independence Place is a community with 9 homes that was opened in July and 2 are still available.
In addition to the 20 homes we have in the community, we're actually able to increase our ability to assist families who have been displaced by domestic violence by another 50%.
CAPSA has been helping victims for a long time, so now
we have enough funding actually to put people into homes out in the community, apartments, townhouses that subsidize their rent, so allowing them at first to actually have housing with 0 rent and then graduate it up.
Our hope is to get them on their feet, free of abuse, and living in a home alone with their own children.
For CAPSA staff, it is not just a place for victims to stay.
We see a family that's going to go in the community and it's going to be able to really not just escape violence, but also heal from it.
I just love seeing what or how they are from when they start shelter to when they actually finish and complete transitional housing. It's a big change.
CAPSA is funded through Somebody's Attic, which is a thrift store. If you're interested in supporting or you need help, you can go to our Facebook page to find all the information there. Back to you, Amy.
Thanks, Tori. When we come back, we'll show you how one club is trying to break the norm of the STEM field.
And also we'll show you how a stop sign may be our air quality's worst enemy.
I'm one unlucky guy. The chance of being involved in a robbery is 1 in 757. The chances of being struck by lightning 1 in 750,000.
Please fasten your seatbelts for unexpected turbulence.
The chances of being a victim in an airline crash 1 in 29 million. Hey, could I get some peanuts? The chances of being involved in a car crash are far greater than lightning strikes and plane crashes. And if you are texting while driving, your risk of crash increases 23 times. Now, I may be an unlucky guy, but I don't have to be part of that statistic, and neither do you. Drive responsibly.
Utah State has 12 open access computer labs available for students, but some cater to certain students more than others. While students using the engineering lab can be in any major, as the name suggests, it's the engineers who use the lab's specialized software the most. The lab relies heavily on student feedback in order to know just what software improvements it needs to make. According to the lab, those surveys are critical to getting students the software they normally wouldn't have access to.
Programs that we have in the lab, I mean, they'd be so astronomically expensive for an individual to purchase. It would be really unlikely that they would be able to even touch that software if it weren't for the labs.
For a complete list of its software, you can visit the engineering lab on the 3rd floor of the engineering building.
Ever thought science, technology, engineering, and math, or STEM, is a male-dominated field? Natalie Humphreys takes us to Cash Makers to show us what they're doing to change that.
Don't say oops correctly. Natalia doesn't let her programs frustrate her, even when they aren't doing what she coded them to do.
I finished with my chores.
Well, I like interacting with all the people and like coding, putting together blocks and seeing how cool your project is. So we can probably delete these ones. The app program is geared toward young girls and focuses on showing them that science, technology, engineering, and math is for them. The girls develop apps that they're interested in and can have fun with, like this excuse generator.
I finished with my chores.
Over here is where we do all of our coding. It's just in kind of like block form, and there are mentors to help us. It's awesome because, I mean, they're super nice and it's fun and they really teach a lot and they know what they're doing. So it's really nice having them here to help us.
USU women students are inspiring the young girls to get into the STEM fields.
They're so smart, like so much smarter than I was, and I don't know, I feel like I can contribute something to the world, and so I can't wait to see what they're going to do.
Natalie Humphreys, ATV News.
There are more classes helping kids of all ages learn about different STEM programs. For more information, visit cashmakers.org.
The A on top of Old Main is back after being turned off for the 10th annual Earth Hour. The lights on Aggie A shut off at 8:30 and stayed off for 1 hour. 178 nations also joined in turning off the lights on well-known landmarks to support the cause for climate action. Along with the Aggie A, landmarks like Big Ben and the Empire State Building shut off their lights.
Drivers see stop signs every day, but does the stopping and going of your engine affect the air? I jumped in my car and hit the road to see if stop signs have any significant impact on our air for this installment of ATV's Air Quality Series. When you start your car, this is what is coming out of your exhaust. And every time you push down on the gas pedal, more emissions are pushed out.
So all we do is turn this on.
I met with Dr. Randy Martin to see how these emissions are tested.
And for a drive-around study, we'll insert that probe in, and then we'll actually take a hose clamp, a metal hose clamp, and hook that on so it doesn't go anywhere.
The test shows how a car's carbon monoxide, hydrocarbons, and nitrogen oxide levels change during a drive.
The CO's on the left scale.
I had Dr. Martin walk me through the results of one of his recent tests.
And what you see here is a cold start. So this is when you first start your car in the morning. You can see that really puts out most of the emissions. And then we would take the vehicles on drive cycles. So this is driving around through the neighborhood here relatively close to the water lab.
Dr. Martin says these small bumps indicate acceleration, most likely after a stop. And this larger bump shows the car accelerating up a hill. Stopping at a stop sign like this may only take a few seconds with no traffic. But by stopping over and over again, your emissions might start to add up.
As I say, it's not going to be a lot, but if you average that over all the roundabouts and all the stop signs in a given urban area, it might be significant.
Not all Logan drivers think that traffic signals have a place in the discussion on air quality.
I don't think they should be looked at for air quality. They should be used as a safety tool.
While traffic signals' effects on emissions may be small, Dr. Martin believes we all can help reduce emissions in the way we push down on the pedal.
Gradual accelerations are not as dramatic. You don't peel rubber, you don't get out the big clouds of black smoke if you're driving a diesel. but they are more friendly to the guy behind you, as well as more friendly to our environment.
Dr. Martin says the results from his test show the cold starting of a vehicle is the biggest contributor to our poor air quality.
When we come back, ATV's Emily Duke will have your Cache Valley weather report.
The current temperature in Logan is 42 degrees.
Are you frustrated with your major?
I'm done.
Do you wish your professors were more available to you? Do you wish your dreams of appearing on television would come true? We have the solution for you. Broadcast journalism offers hands-on experience, one-on-one assistance, and the opportunity to work with ATV News. Join the JCOM family today.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Oh, you should pick that up. Oh, you're such a dork. Loser. Here, let me help you with that. Oops.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Oh, look. Your crush is looking at you. Poor you.
They want to help, but don't know how.
See, no one here's gonna help you, because no one
Teach your
likes
kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit
With all of this hot and cold weather, people who are unprepared could get sick. But did you know it can affect your mental health too? A study published in the Journal of Happiness says that weather can change the way you feel. People who suffer from mental illness like anxiety, depression, and seasonal affective disorder often experience worse symptoms in the winter, and their symptoms let up when spring starts. In their study, researchers at Princeton asked people to rate their satisfaction with life, and they compared the answers to the weather on the days they were taken. On rainy days and days that are too hot or too cold, people reported that they were less satisfied with their life. The study also found that women were more likely to be affected by the weather than men.
People from Utah will often tell you if you don't like the weather, just wait 5 minutes. It may have been intended as a joke, but it certainly applies this week. These students are in a hurry to get out of the snow, and this skateboarder is enjoying a mild spring day. Believe it or not, they're only a few hours apart. The weather feels crazy right now with drastic changes from snow to sun. People are finding themselves unprepared for what Mother Nature is throwing at them. But according to experts, this weather is actually pretty common for Utah this time of year.
Because we are now in spring, and the jet stream is moving north, and the temperature difference between the equator and the poles is changing, and as a result the jet stream changes. And so I wouldn't say it was crazy weather, I would just say it's normal for spring.
Gillis says we can expect this weather to continue into April and maybe even June, so he suggests not packing away your winter clothes yet.
Well, I'll be sure to keep a good mix of winter and summer clothes ready. We have Emily Duke here to tell us more about the weather coming up this week.
That's right, guys. So we may not have very crazy weather, but they're having some pretty intense weather in the Midwest. So let's head over to our national radar to check it out. So, as you can see here, we've got a pretty crazy storm going on here in Colorado. And it's getting pretty crazy. They have blizzard warning there, and they also have the airport has been completely shut down. And as you can see, this storm is moving east. It's going to be heading into the Great Lakes area over the next couple of days. And then if we can get to our state radar, you can see that that crazy puppy weather I was telling you about is kind of gone. There's only a couple little pockets of precipitation here in Salt Lake. And if we go to our 7-day, you can see that we've got a pretty nice spring day today. That precipitation is going to be coming back in on Thursday, a 40% chance of rain. It's going to come into a snow-rain mix on Friday, and then on Saturday it'll start to let up. So Easter Sunday, you're going to have a nice sunny day with a high of 57 and a low of 32 in the night, and then on Monday and Tuesday you're going to start getting more cloud cover. We're going to be heading back into those storms. So make sure you keep your coats ready, but we are going to have a little bit of sun over the weekend, and so nothing really very historical happening here, but I hear that we have some pretty historical stuff happening in sports. Connor?
That's right, Emily. When we come back, it was an offensive showcase for the softball team. See what records they broke coming up.
Sorry.
I've got big ideas.
As a college student, you have big ideas to make a big difference on campus. Why not get funding for those ideas in a big way? The Blue Goes Green Grant provides funding for student sustainability projects. These projects help USU students be more environmentally responsible, live healthier, and save money. To find out more, go to usu.edu/BGG. Get funding for your Blue Goes Green idea in a big way. Blue Goes Green. Make a difference.
The gymnastics team gets to stay a little closer to home for the NCAA Regional Gymnastics Championship.
Salt Lake City Regional is Utah State.
That was the team's reaction to the news when it was announced they would be competing in Salt Lake City for the regional championships. In their part of the bracket, the Aggies will compete against Utah, UCLA, Washington, Southern Utah, and Illinois. This is the third consecutive year the Aggies will compete in the regional tournament, a feat that hasn't happened since the team made 17 straight regionals from 1986 to 2002.
We're in our home state, and we're going to have so many fans that are going to be able to go there. So I think that that's going to just really make it feel like home, even though we're blue and it's going to be a red arena. We can block that out.
The regionals will take place at the Huntsman Center on the University of Utah campus on April 2nd at 6 p.m. The men's tennis team went into last weekend's matches ranked number 58, the highest ranking the team has ever had. They split their two matches over the weekend, beating Boise State 4-3, but fell to Loyola Marymount by the same score. The Aggies are 14-6 on the year. They will travel to Provo on Saturday to go up against BYU and Idaho. The women's softball team had their first home series of the season this weekend with a 3-game matchup against Northern Colorado. Aaliyah Amadeus gets things started with a single to left field that will drive home Sarah Cho. That run will put the Aggies on the board. Then Noelle Johnson gets in on the action with a 2-run double that would give the Aggies a 3-2 lead in the first inning. In the second inning, it was Brina Butta-Cavoli with this deep shot to center field for a solo home run that would extend the Aggie lead to 4-2. It was back and forth the whole way, but at the end, Northern Colorado takes game 1 of the series 9-8.
We have to be a lot more aggressive, especially when it comes to slappers and with bunts as well. We need to attack instead of playing on our heels.
The Aggies would turn things around in Game 2, scoring a season-high 16 runs to even up the series. With the series tied at 1, the Aggies would look to put Northern Colorado away with a win in Game 3. Just like in Game 2, the Aggie offense would take over as Noelle Johnson hits a 2-run home run in the second inning. Those 2 runs were part of a 7-run inning for the Aggies. After another home run by Johnson in the third, it is Bailey Lewis hitting a double down the left field line to bring home Almendares. The Aggies scored 5 more runs in the third inning. The Aggies had a lead of 14-3 after 4 innings. Northern Colorado would add a run in the 5th, but it would definitely not be enough. This game was shorter than Game 2 as the mercy rule was applied, and USU won in 5 innings, 14-4.
To bounce back and play as well as we did today is really important. I think right now our offense is really rolling. But it's just a big step for us. It's the first time we've been over 500 in 20 years. So we just now got to go into conference and keep things going at that pace.
In the 3 games combined, USU outscored Northern Colorado 38-20. The Aggies will head on the road for a 3-game series against New Mexico starting on Thursday. That's all for sports. Back to you, Taylor and Amy.
Thanks, Connor. When we come back, find out how a peculiar 17th century show is bringing students together.
And kids normally fill their baskets with candy, so why are these kids filling it with dirt?
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
They were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Aggie Air is an innovative engineering program exclusive to Utah State. It provides opportunities for students to get hands-on and real-world experiences. By building model planes that photograph and scan detailed images of landscapes, Aggie Air can change the way we use the Earth's surface. Watch as Aggie Air takes flight.
You've been putting fake grass in your Easter basket for years, but now the Garden Gateway is helping kids grow real grass in their basket. These kids are getting their hands dirty as they scoop and dump dirt into their baskets. They spread seeds across the dirt and give them a good patting down. They finish up by putting plastic wrap over the seeds.
One of our biggest things is we worry about younger generations being raised not gardening, so we're always looking for events like this that we can get kids involved in that.
The Garden Gateway's next event is April 22nd. They'll teach you to make a fairy garden in a pot.
They were like kids on the same playground, but they weren't playing together. Brock Damjanovic takes us to the Morgan Theater to see how a new program could bring together students throughout the Kane College of the Arts.
The orchestra is warming up for something new, an age of interdepartment harmony, and the catalyst for the Kane College change, puppet theater.
Students in our colleges tend to get a little bit siloed. You know, the music students hang out with the music students, theater with theater, art with art. And so we thought, what could we do that would really cross all of those boundaries? Of course, the obvious thing was puppet opera.
In olden times, the reason they used puppet theater was to reduce the number of cast members needed and also reduce the cost. However, the Kane College of the Arts' goal is to bring different departments in the college together, like theater and choir. The opera told the tale of Rogero, who leaves the world of women to re-enter the warlike world of men. He goes on to defeat the wicked Alcina, his ex-lover, and frees the enchanted plants.
And the idea is to really introduce music students, but now also theater and art students, to historical performance. So what does it mean to perform an opera from the 17th century? How is that different from, say, doing a Broadway musical?
This was the idea behind the Performance Practice Institute, a program designed to cross disciplines. This event was a huge step for the program, so in order to ensure the performance was successful, some students went the extra mile.
Over spring break, us puppeteers went to Seattle to learn how to puppet. We worked with Dimitri Carter at the Northwest Puppet Center, and since we've been back here, we've been rehearsing every night with the band and with the singers.
And they say it was all worth it to work together.
It has been wonderful to work on a project that is, you know, all the different departments of Kane College of the Arts coming together to produce one piece of art. It's been such fun, and I hope that we do more collaborations in the future.
Brock Damjanovic, ATV News.
Though this is the last scheduled interdepartment event, the departments hope this is the start of a more united college.
March is wrapping up, and so is your time to buy a special kind of cookie. Girl Scouts play music to help draw in customers and will be selling the rest of their cookies across the valley this weekend. The girls say Thin Mints and Samoas are the most popular. Troops haven't had a problem selling their cookies, but having enough to fill the Cache Valley's cookie craving is a different story.
We have 8 troops at this point that are selling cookies, and from what I'm hearing, a lot of them are selling out.
We have a list of locations where you can buy the cookies on our Facebook page, and if you miss out, that's the way the Thin Mint crumbles. I cannot tell you how much I love Samoas.
Dude, I was a Girl Scout. I sold all the Girl Scout cookies.
Oh, will you sell me? I hope they don't run out. I will be so sad if I don't get
Thin
any
Mints
this year.
all the way.
Thin Mints are good.
I can't pick.
That's the way it crumbles, though, bud. Thanks for joining us this week on ATV News.
Today is National Puppy Day, so we'll leave you with shots of puppies on campus.
Bye, America. Bye, Abby.
He's like, no, I'm not in.
Adventure? The Outdoor Recreation Program at USU offers a wide variety of rental equipment, from winter gear like skis, snowshoes, and snowboards, to summer must-haves like kayaks, rafts, and camping gear. From sleeping bags to Dutch oven necessities, we have it all. So stop in and see us. Located at 950 East, 1000 North, in the basement of the distribution building behind Romney Stadium, we're open Mondays through Fridays, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So stop in or call to get your gear today.